And now, more Utalk. Now.
So, Larissa, Katie, what have you guys been doing in the new isolated, self-distancing, trying to stay healthy and safe environment in which we live?
I have been eating a lot of fruit. Believe it or not, I've been actually trying to stay healthy.
Really?
Even though, yeah, my significant other, on the other hand, has been like binge eating chips. But you know what I have done though. I mean, I'm supposed to be cleaning, so I mean, I did organize a few things, but I have spent more time like texting people or reaching out to people, or even on social media reading other people's feeds. Sometimes that's not always good. I know we'll get into that a little bit more.
Yeah.
I actually feel like sometimes social media can be good, like your friends, but there can also be a very like toxic side to it, which I am really seeing, and so which is why I think our conversation today is really needed.
It is. Katie, what about you?
I have decided to start working out again because I've had no time, and now I have time to work out. So
Nice.
tried some yoga, went for a little walk. Although when people were walking toward me, obviously we had to go on separate sides of the road for the 6 feet, apart distance thing right now. But other than that, and Larissa, I am one of those people that I think everybody has decided to start texting because I now have like 154 text messages that I need to respond to. So
That's insane. Do you ever check? I mean, how many months is this? Is this just like a week or something?
yeah,
I mean, come on, Katie.
since the isolation, like my text went to like 154 texts, and I was like, oh, I guess everybody has time on their hands now.
Too much.
You know what? I'm part of a few like group messaging, group texts, and like some of them have like 15, 20 people on them. And so it gets crazy when it like blows up and everybody's like commenting on something. Yeah. And so, yeah, there are days where if I don't check it for a while, I'm like 50 messages just from like this one.
Right? Yeah.
And I have to do the do not disturb at night or else like my phone blows up. And especially, once all the stuff was going down and things were shutting down, like a bunch of my friends and like, oh my gosh, they're shutting down this and they're shutting down this. And what are you going to do? Or, or people just sending all these like
everything
advice.
Yeah. No, see, I just turn my phone off at night.
That's really smart too. But yeah, I am glad that the iPhone has that do not disturb feature. Yeah, so it's almost like turning it off. And so I'm not disturbed. And it's also good because like if you're driving, it has that function where it, you have that message like, oh, I'm driving, I can't return your text. So people don't think you're ignoring them, right?
No, but you want to stay,
right?
Because that's distracted driving.
It is distracted driving, and which is not a lot of that's happening right now because not a lot of people are driving.
No, that's for sure. People are spending more time online, and there's a whole lot of mean people out there right now. You got to wonder what is wrong. I mean, I think there's a reason for it, but it's crazy out there. The meanness, it's just flat out.
Yeah. Well, I especially have spent a little bit more time on Twitter. I did spend a lot of Twitter in the last spent a lot of time on Twitter in the last year. I feel like people are nicer on Instagram, although some people can still be kind of mean and shade on Instagram. But I really feel like Twitter especially is like super mean. I mean, people just are not filtered and they don't even know you and they like insult you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's why the cruelness. Why, I mean, you don't have to be cruel. You don't have to be mean, but a lot of people are. And it's just absolutely, it's really uncalled for. Kind of the bullying. I mean, because that's really what it is. When you're mean and you're cruel, you're bullying people. Why? I mean, this is crazy. And by the way, just to remind you, you can reach us. If you're struggling during this time, you want to just interact with somebody else that's different, reach us on social. You can send us a text. Text the word Utalk to 411-247 and to our website, utalkradio.com.
I think, in times of crisis like this, and I think that's what we want to kind of chat with our audience about today, is like bring out the worst in people, or it can bring out the best in people. And so like Miss Everything 6 just shared something about like somebody nice did. They knew we needed some. So they offered, so you got some paper towels from people that knew you needed it. So you're starting to see some acts of kindness. Like what other acts of kindness do you think we need to start doing? Like I'll give you one more example. And my husband Baldwin, our daughter gets these like free meals from school because our city just is still providing meals for all the kids. And they just have so much food because not everybody is going to go claim them, but it's already been, paid for and allocated. So he's going around to all our neighbors and like dropping off like food. And it's not so much even about the money, but like some people are afraid to go out of the house.
Yeah.
Some people, I have a friend who's a single mom who's got 3 kids, and like she's still working, and it's so hard for her to go out. Or I know people that are like who are here for school or whatever, and their family's far away, and like they don't know anybody. And it's just nice to know that like you can still do something neighborly, just dropping off food at somebody's house.
I did have to make a run to Costco, and had little brief conversations with people I know that work there, because it's tough. It's tough in that environment. I mean, they're another set of heroes. I was going to say are doctors and nurses and first responders, but also the people driving the trucks, the people loading the shelves, the people that are checking us out so we can buy things or pick up a prescription or whatever. But there's an underlying current, I think, too, that's keeping people just aren't sure. There is some great acts of kindness, but there's also people that have kind of almost retreated into themselves, or they've gotten really mean because they're anxious. The anxiety is heavy in the air. People, you don't know. I mean, a lot of people are panicked about the future. What's going to happen? I mean, a lot of students are going, man, am I going to get slammed with a bunch of testing when we finally do get back into school? What's going to happen with my graduation? Am I going to get to my senior year? Whatever it happens to be. I mean, there's a lot of that anxiety hanging, and I think it's causing some people maybe some people that wouldn't normally be cruel or mean, to be mean to others. And that's kind of understandable, but it's not acceptable.
Yeah, and here's my advice to people who are experiencing like meanness, or being mean for that matter.
Yeah.
But especially if you're experiencing meanness, and what I've seen on social media too is sometimes the natural inclination is to fight meanness with meanness, right? Like, like, oh my gosh, how dare he like say that about me? I'm gonna give him a piece of my mind, like that's kind of normally. I think people tend to just like freak out and just want to be mean back to somebody, and what I found is like I'm actually really good at like shutting down trolls, like believe it or not. So what I do is like seriously, I kill them with kindness. I kill trolls with kindness. And like I just was emailing somebody yesterday, or like messaging or commenting on somebody on Facebook yesterday, where they were just one of my friends. I was like defending my friend because like this person was totally being mean to my friend. And I'm going, hey, listen, it's like our life is short. Like, I think, like, I know my pastor says this great saying where he says, like, we should spend less time tearing people down and more time building people up, right? And so I kind of said that message where I'm just like, I hope that you spend more time sharing love and loving other people, and please stay healthy, take care. So as opposed to like, you are such an idiot, and like, how dare you say that? Like, I actually tried to offer words of like, dude, I was thinking that. I'm human. Okay. So I was definitely thinking that. Yeah. But every person that is like insulting to me, everything goes through my mind of like, how dare you? But what I try to type out is like, find things that one you agree upon. So hopefully people agree, like hurting other people is bad. You don't want to see the world, like you don't want to see COVID-19 get worse.
No.
Find some of those general common things.
You're free.
And then also just say, wish them well. People seriously freak out. Like they either don't respond or they'll be like, thank you. Like they're just surprised if you actually thank them or wish them well after they said something mean. Because they know they said something mean to you, and they're going to feel bad about it, right? Like they can feel bad on their own.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And what you're saying is very practical, and it's a good reminder, though, in order to be able to do that. That's the problem with social media, is when you're emotionally charged, you can hit it, bam, you're going to nail something, you're going to put it, and oftentimes we want to pull that back, but you can't pull it back because you've already put it out there. So we need to, if something happens, we see that somebody goes after us, they say something cruel, mean, whatever it is, we got to take a deep breath and just take a step back before we respond, because there's a why behind all of this as well. Why somebody generally doesn't just doesn't go out and slam you. And, I had a friend who was an airline attendant, and she told me they went through some interesting training because, somebody comes on the plane and just slams them. They're just tearing them apart. You don't know what just happened before they boarded the plane. You don't know if they're on the plane because they're going because a relative is dying. You don't know if they got fired. You don't know any of that stuff. So I think that's where we have got to learn, each one of us, how to step back and try to figure out what is the why. Maybe we just happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time because, we were the object of, and that happens on social too. Maybe, it can happen face to face, but especially now with us social distancing, all this kind of stuff because of COVID-19, I think we need to learn to put the brake on, put the pause button on, hit the yellow light, whatever it is, and step back so we can put into practice, put into play what you were talking about of acts of kindness, because that's, like you said, we're human, and our first response is not always that.
So I like all these, you guys have seen some of the challenges celebrities are putting out right now.
Yeah.
To help, like Tyler Perry's and stuff, like to help kind of create just a positive atmosphere online right now. And
but with Tyler Perry's thing, you got to sing. It's not my problem, but what happens if you have to sing?
I don't sing, but I still put a post up last night related to that, related to his, his challenge, just reminding people, like of what the challenge was about and just take a moment to breathe and let's just calm down. And, I think we all need to just start putting positive posts up, just reminding people we're all in this together. There's no point in being mean. Like, let's all just spread kindness right now. Let's all just help each other out and get through this. TikTok has a lot of them right now. A lot of,
and we're gonna be coming up with our own challenge to kind of launch our hashtag goodbye to number 2 mean, and which we'll talk about next week, because I think it's more than ever. I think we just need to kind of band together. It's kind of a crazy time. And, what I always kind of like are challenging people too is like, well, what do you want to see our world be in the future, right? What kind of future do we want to build after COVID-19 is, over? Like, is it hopefully going to be a better world and not a worse world, right?
That's what's creating some anxiety is definitely we want it to be a better world. And, hopefully people are getting in touch with themselves during this self-distancing and isolation and quarantining, getting in touch with family, for as Italians, I know Chinese, same thing. And family is important. Let's make it important. But my concern is, are we going to continue the practice? Like if we decide to do what you were saying, Larissa, about being kind, almost like overwhelming somebody with kindness, that shoots us something nasty and cruel on.
Yeah, and it really, really will get to them. Like that is the best way to defeat somebody who is hating on you.
Absolutely.
Is to absolutely kill them with kindness, and because they honestly don't know what to do with that.
They don't.
And that is really the formula to maybe turning an enemy into a friend. Because, here's the thing, and we talk about this with, like, bullying, too. Like, a lot of people's, like, solution to bullying is, like, get rid of the bully, right? Like, I just read, you just want them to face the most severe punishment ever. Okay, look, if they've murdered somebody, that's a different story, right? But if they're just saying mean things to somebody or, maybe they are beating somebody up, occasionally, that's not good. I'm not saying it's good. But wouldn't your long-term goal would to see, like, you want that bully to change, right? Like, or even somebody who's like, right. Obviously being somebody as a person of color, there's a lot of heightened awareness about, Asians are getting attacked, Asians in America, in other parts of the world, because they're getting falsely blamed. And some people are like, oh, you guys are just whining. And they're just like, oh, people are just, hurling insults at you and whatever. But like, that's not good. Like if anybody hurls any insult at anyone, you think that's good. So, that's the thing. It's like what you want though, is like, hopefully those people that are hurling insults is like, I just want I hope they go to hell and all that. Like, I want them to change. Like, I want them to stop hurling insults. I hope they become kinder people. I hope people that are bullied become
we don't people. Know
that should be the
they're
goal.
Bullying.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. It to want to lash back at them, to, have harm come to them or whatever it is you're thinking, send them, to a faraway land where nobody else has ever gone before, but we don't know the why. And, I think of the golden rule. Treat somebody the way you want to be treated, and what about that bully? It could be any number of things. What's interesting? Somebody could be mean and cruel to you because you have something that reminds them of themselves that they don't.
Ooh.
Yeah. It could be. Now, I don't think that could happen to me. What could I possibly have? No, seriously. Or what about you have a talent, an ability, a relationship that they want. So the best way they can,
jealousy.
There's a jealousy thing there. So the best thing they can do to come after you is come back at you,
Yeah, no, true.
there's more to it than what we're really willing to give to it. And I think we have to be, in a sense, that bigger person. Not that we're better.
Right. No, absolutely.
Not at all.
Absolutely.
None are better than another. And actually, it's interesting because the playing field has really been leveled with COVID-19. And I hear people wishing that somebody's going to die as a result of this. And how could you? How could you have that kind of a cruel heart? I mean, a 12-year-old girl dies, somebody in their 80s, a middle-aged person. Why would you wish that on Would you wish that on yourself? And maybe that's a question we need to keep pushing back to is, why? Why would you want that to, and getting to the why, I think really, again, of the meanness and the cruelness and trying to understand them, because that enables you, I think, to offer that word of kindness and that attitude of kindness to them and want them to have the best.
Yeah, and I think like maybe something we can challenge our audience, and then certainly what are things that you guys are doing to try to be kind to others, or
Absolutely.
what if things helped you guys in terms of battling people that have been negative, or how to just kind of be a little bit nicer, and kind of challenging people too to maybe reach out to 3 different people. Again, we can't actually physically reach out to somebody, but maybe it's an email, or maybe leaving an anonymously like positive comment on social media. It's like when people leave random things, at people's door. I mean, not dangerous things, but like a note of kindness, and you're like, wait, who gave me that? Or flowers, and you're like, it's one way to cheer people's life up, especially in this time where a lot of people are suffering through depression and suffering from a lot of fear and anxiety.
Well, I don't know if you heard about or seen it in our neighborhood, at least, like in mine, I've noticed that people are writing messages on the sidewalk.
Using chalk.
Like, using chalk.
Oh, yeah. I have a friend who did that too.
Yeah, so like when you're out walking in your neighborhood, like people are leaving nice little like reminders and stuff for people right now. So that's something you can also do, like you said, the little notes all around.
You can go in people's windows and like because like nobody can actually go inside anywhere.
That might get kind of scary though. I'm not sure I want to go up to my neighbors and go, or wave. I mean, they might freak, or they, if it's an older
I know.
Attack or
I think some people were freaking out at my husband, like our neighbors, like who were like, who is this? Like, we don't know all our neighbors. And so I think when he was knocking on doors trying to give people food, some people were like, no, we don't want that. Like he's a salesman or something.
Maybe he should put like a sign on or something. I am safe giving you food or something.
Yeah, like I do. Yeah, and on the fact that he's Chinese American, right? Like, I do not have the virus. And
well, something else that I think about when I think about the whole thing of kindness and cruelty and meanness and everything else, we have to remember, if we are the victims of that, it's not necessarily about us. If somebody chooses to be mean, it's a choice. We've been talking about choosing to be kind. If you choose to be kind, or you choose to be mean or choose to be cruel, there's no reason that it involves us. It's that other person that's being mean, being cruel. There's something going on within them. And again, Larissa, going back to what you were saying, we want to help that person because probably and most likely they're not even in touch with themselves as to why they're being mean, why they're being cruel. Something hurt, something's broken inside, a switch got turned off or on, but they don't know what's going on. So we want to be able to help them as much as we can.
We're talking about ways we can be kinder to people, and definitely share with us things you've seen that other people are doing, whether online or in your neighborhoods, and ideas that you had we can share, just like things that we can do just to be nicer to each other, strategies
with
we
one
can
another.
do.
We got to go easy on each other and have patience and learn to appreciate each other, and whatever that gift, that talent that you might be able to share, do it.
And I think another thing is if you do have negative thoughts, to put them down, right? We put them down on paper.
Yeah.
Journal.
Maybe tell them to somebody you know. Don't tell them to a stranger, because the stranger is going to be like, what are you talking about? And want to smack you in the face. Like, put those negative thoughts, because it's okay. But it's only natural that we get mad and we get angry and we get frustrated or depressed. And so I think it's important to cope with them in a healthy way. And since we're not able to talk to people face to face, like, doing things like video calling, joining conversations like this online is good. Because I think we all need an outlet for what we're doing. And I think most people, and that's why we do our show, right? It's like, we know people want to be heard, and Utalk is not just about us talking to you, but you talking to us. And so we love it when people are commenting, and, we're all in it together, honestly.
We are.
Yeah.
And we're going to get through it together if we stick together. That's the whole thing, lifting each other up, encouraging each other, being kind, being patient if somebody is mean or cruel, trying to find out why. Just that whole thing of understanding how difficult this new normal is for us. And hopefully it won't last much longer, but we don't know. So let's grab our hands together virtually and lift each other up and encourage one another, because we may be in for the long haul. Who knows? You know?
Yeah. You guys want to talk a little bit more about the hashtag Goodbye to Mean campaign that we're going to be launching soon?
Absolutely. It's about bullying. It's about suicide. It's about kindness. It's about making this world a better place to live. We're all about making a difference. We talk about going mad. We want you to go mad with us by joining the hashtag Goodbye to Mean campaign. And we'll talk more about that in our when we get together again. There's school assemblies when we can get back to doing schools. There'll be local conversations that we'll have. We've had one a while back that was just an incredible time, just interacting with some of you and hearing your thoughts, hearing your struggles, and sharing with how we can do some things together. But it is a campaign. It's let's say goodbye to mean. Let's get it out of here, because none of us need mean now and when we're through the COVID-19 crisis. Let's start treating people kindly. We're going to talk about all kinds of ways in which we can do that, and we'll start with more of that next time we get together.
This is Utalk Radio.